Hold on 1 second. Lauren, on your Discord, do you see an option in the bottom left that has a headphone thing?
What?
There's a headphone thing. It's like a microphone thing. Can you click the headphone thing for like 1 minute, real quick? Okay. Peace. Click that again. Okay. Click that again. Hold on.
No. Hey, absolutely not.
Hold on. Peace. Go. Hold on. Look at me right in the eyes. Okay. Listen.
Those who don't have Discord, Destiny was trying to get Lauren to deafen herself so he could talk to Pisco without her hearing.
Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, I haven't had an in-depth conversation with her about her fucking great relationship. I'm just saying, hypothetically, this is how I could see somebody be there, okay? She might believe whatever the fuck or have a whole bunch of things. I don't know. I'm just providing like one potential explanation for people. And then that's why I'm giving examples of like people like Hunter that have tried these things and they haven't worked. That's all I'm saying, okay?
But he said Hunter Avalon was trying the grift and it didn't work?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny because he's like, stop throwing me under the bus, you fucking asshole.
Right, yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Basically.
Given that you're now being confronted with a person who has said that they're honest about their views and they're not going to lie and they're not going to grift, that theory must be thrown out, unless you think she's lying right now, correct?
True. If you want a harder position, so like the kill shot question. Or wait, hold on. Do you know what the kill shot is from here?
What's that?
Well, I didn't know if you were building towards it. The kill shot question now would be that if you could present, so she's made two statements. One, she said that if she has made a statement that she disagrees with today, she would retract it regardless of the cost.
I can't hear you right now.
Just hold on, okay? She would retract it, irrelevant of the cost, right? We agree with that essentially, right? Because she cited, well, I came back.
She's saying it right now.
Yeah. So that's the one. And number two, she says she doesn't specifically remember the word said in the Great Replacement video. So the kill shot question is, if you could present her with a line that pretty explicitly says there is a directed replacement of white people, directed intentional replacement of white people, she necessarily would have to retract that. And if she found a way to squirm around that, then there would be some weaseling or misdirection or some bad faith act on her part.
Unfortunately, I don't have the bullet prepared because I was going to bed and you called me, you called the banners.
Well, here's the thing. No one ever does. No one ever seems to.
That, Lauren. Lauren, I don't believe, I think that there's good in everybody. I'm sure we disagree on substance on a great many things. And to be honest, do I memorize the words that you put in your Great Replacement video? No, I don't. I don't even know where I...
Yeah, you just remember that you have to be mad about it. Like everyone on Reddit, like everyone on Twitter. Everyone just knows they have to be really, really mad about it and call me a terrorist. That seems to be the general consensus.
I can't speak for other people. I can speak for myself, and I can say that even the version that you gave just now, where you were saying...
See, but here's the problem. Since he started the conversation off by saying, most of my opinion about Lauren is based on what other people tell me, he is speaking necessarily from the position of other people in this entire conversation.
Yeah, good point.
He hasn't drawn his own conclusion here. And I think regardless of whether people criticize her video or not, what I think is fair, if you actually look through the manifestos of these crazy shooters, I don't think either of them watched Lauren Southern's video and were like, this is why I'm going to shoot anyone. Like, they all seem to be pretty radicalized, mostly through interacting with people on message boards and kind of going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole through their own research. I don't think anyone saw Lauren Southern's video and was suddenly like, I must kill the non-whites.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like this line of questioning just because it seems so silly. The whole, you would tell us if you're lying, right? It's like, what a dumbass. Okay. I mean, that's basically...
Adam, of course, listen, if I was lying, of course I would.
Right. I mean, that's basically the line of questioning that he's pulling out here. And it's just, okay. Yeah. You can't do better than, come on, Piso. At least talk about the substance of the argument. It's all of this, so many people on the left default to character over arguments. They don't want to talk about the actual substance of the debate. They want to talk about whether or not this person is on my team, or if they've done things that offend the team or make the team look bad or don't represent the team in a good light.
That's a great point. And that's why with Hunter's conversion, and I remember when I listened to his conversion, what bothered me was not his conversion, which is I didn't agree with his positions before his conversion. I don't agree with them now. So it's relevant to me. What bothered me was that during his conversion, it was like, give me names to sacrifice.
Right.
Basically.
Totally. Perfect example of what I'm saying. Right. Yeah.
And that's exactly just to like, oh, show us. It's almost like the gang initiation. Like you have to go kill someone to show you're like,
you got to go kill a normie.
Or you have to go kill one of the rival gang members to prove that you really have changed sides. Like give us some scalps to show that you really joined our tribe. It's like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah, this is the most regressive type of politics ever. It's like let's not both challenge one another to try to come to a solution that's going to work for everyone. Let's try to tear down the other team so that we can gain political power.
Right.
Talk about selfish.
For right-wing people, isn't there a legitimate fear that should be spoken about honestly? Even that version of the Great Replacement, worrying about culture and that's more, I guess, neutered form, is something I would condemn in the strongest possible terms. And so I don't need to know the specific line for line.
Wait, what would you condemn?
Wait a minute. I have to go back.
And the strong
is something I fear myself, and I can say that even the version that you gave just now, where you were saying for right-wing people, isn't there a legitimate fear that should be spoken about honestly? Even that version of the Great Replacement, worrying about culture and that's more, I guess, neutered form, is something I would condemn in the strongest possible terms. And so I don't need to know the specific line.
He's basically saying, yeah, if you're not cool with your culture just being totally erased for some other culture that you are not a part of, then you're a racist. That's basically what he just said.
Well, he's being so vague, and she's about to ask him to clarify, so maybe we'll get something more specific. Because it's like, is that what he's saying? Is he saying associating with race is the problem? I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
So much for cultural appropriation, right? So much for keeping strong borders between and saving these cultures from any sort of cultural impeding.
Right, because if you track the conversation, basically she said, hey, the left has been making this weird cultural race argument for years. And so the right can talk about it. And then his response to that is, no, by talking about it, that's abhorrent. It's like, well, wait a minute, you're not addressing the argument.
Well, also, he's saying that there is this idea of the Great Replacement that has to do with
intentionality, right?
Which has to do with displacing of a culture, and there's an ethnic component to it. But he's saying even without the ethnic component to it, he still finds it abhorrent.
I don't know. Well, maybe if he is saying that, that's like a horribly stupid thing to say, but we'll see if he clarifies. We'll see if he clarifies.
Back it up. You tell me if I'm misrepresenting him.
I can't speak for other people. I can speak for myself, and I can say that even the version that you gave just now, where you were saying for right-wing people, isn't there a legitimate fear that should be spoken about honestly? Even that version of the Great Replacement, worrying about culture and that's more, I guess, neutered form, is something I would condemn.
He's saying worried about culture.
In this more neutered form. Yeah, no, you're right.
In the more neutered form of the Great Replacement,
right,
he finds abhorrent. Listen.
In the strongest possible terms. And so I don't need to know the specific.
He says, I find it abhorrent in the strongest possible terms.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. That definitely sounds like that's what he's saying.
So you can't even have a conversation about, okay, Americanism, is going to be gone and replaced with, what are you going to replace it with? I don't even know.
Right, with whatever.
Progressivism?
Right. Or no, well, it'd be with a different country's culture, if we're talking about immigration.
Sure.
But no, if that is what he's saying, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. I don't know how anyone could possibly make an argument that a country doesn't have a right to preserve its own culture along its own cultural lines. I don't see how anyone could possibly make that argument.
Sitch, Piso wants to replace the bald eagle with a parakeet. Now, if you object to that, if you say, listen, bald eagles are based, parakeets are soy, now you're a racist.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, no. We'll stick with the bald eagle. Thank you.
Line for line.
Wait, what would you condemn in the strongest possible terms?
The notion that people should be or right to be in fear of their quote unquote culture going away, to the extent that that's, white culture, or that their birth rates are lowering. People do not.
Okay, so he did a little switcheroo there.
Yes.
Now he's saying, oh, the culture is tied to the ethnicity. Like, you were extremely correct when she should have laid out in the very beginning. She should have said, listen, there's these two things. There is like culture and there is ethnocentrism.
Right.
Or, racial purity, which is a culture, right? But that's not my culture. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the CRT argument and the leftist argument is so disgusting.
Because it is an ethnocentric argument.
Yes, because that's why they have that stupid chart, the Judith Cates chart with the aspects of white culture. And you say, well, wait a minute. Why are we associating these various things to race? This should be open to anyone who wants to partake in, productive pro-social culture, period.
Yep.
And so,
yep.
And so he's kind of like, I don't know, because he's kind of waffling here. Or he's not being very specific with what exactly he's talking about. But he's about to say something that's kind of insane, I think. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Are right to be in fear of their quote unquote culture going away, to the extent that that's, white culture, or that their birth rates are lowering. People do not have a right to a static culture or a static set of birth rates, or to see everyone, in one particular fashion. The world changes, and we can do things and enact policies, which I'm sure you're in great.
So this is the problem.
That's so weird. How can you say you're against cultural appropriation and say people don't have a right to their fucking culture?
Right. Like he says all these things that really need to be sort of deconstructed. When you say, well, people don't have a right to static culture. It's like, what the fuck? What does that mean?
That's the whole idea behind it.
Right.
Not only that the whole conservative ethos is about preserving tradition, which is to some extent trying to at least stabilize culture. I mean, you have to have some agreement that we can't just wake up in the morning and have a different culture every day. That doesn't seem feasible.
No.
Right?
Right. That's why I'm saying, like, obviously culture can't be 100% static because times change.
No, of course. Yes.
But the way he's framing this, because he's framing it in the argument relating to immigration, it sounds like basically you could draw the conclusion that he's basically saying, well, if a lot of people immigrate into a country and they change the culture, get over it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what he's saying, but that's easily a conclusion that someone can draw from what he just fucking said.
And
which is a crazy fucking thing to say.
Saying that to any population that has any sort of political power is just dumb.
It's very
so dumb. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very, very strange.
I think that's fine to have as an opinion. Like, you don't think people should fear their culture going away, but you're going to have to convince most of the world to think that too, right? Like, you have to provide a convincing argument for that, because culture.
I don't think that's fine to have as an argument, because it's actually a fake argument. No one actually believes that at all.
Yeah.
Because assuming that is Pisco's argument, if he lived in some place that had a left wing or leftist culture, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Progressive culture.
Yeah, that if he lives in some area that has some progressive culture, and there's an influx of immigrants who are very socially conservative,
right?
Very right wing, very religious,
right?
He's going to start freaking out and saying, "Oh, these people are coming into my community, and they're bringing in all their terrible regressive values, essentially.
Yeah, of course.
Of course he would care. Like this, it's a fake argument.
Yeah. The neighbors come over and they're like, Pisco, please, your wife isn't wearing a veil. Do you think it's very offensive for us?
Pisco, why is your wife allowed to walk around without a male escort?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
It's making your neighbors feel really weirded out. Maybe you could change.